Hi everyone. My first little note is I've been very open about my surgery since day one. I did a blog about it, I'm still blogging about it, and I did a video blog about it. So I actually have a camera back there. It's only going to be on me, but I wanted to make sure everybody knew that that was there so no one gets uncomfortable. It's purely just for me because I want to be able to put it on my blog afterwards so people can look at it later if they need to. My name's Lindsay. I had surgery January 2010. My before picture, I was 295 pounds. I've lost 145 at my lowest. I'm currently sitting at about 130. So I'm sitting at 170 pounds. And when Dr. Ameri asked me to do a testimonial, I was actually really excited. This process for me was really, really difficult. I was put on Weight Watchers when I was in 5th grade for the first time, and I was on Weight Watchers every other year from then on. I'm 31 now, and at 24, my PCP told me to go have this surgery, and I cried, and I told him to go to hell, and I did a whole bunch of really horrible things, and then 4 years later, I said, maybe I should think about this. Who should I go see? And he sent me to Dr. Ameri. For me, I was really fortunate because I had a number of people in my life who had gone through the surgery. One who I knew had had the surgery, and a few people who surfaced immediately after I announced that I decided to do this. And I was fortunate enough to watch them go through the process, and I didn't really realize why they were losing weight. And two of them had gone to Dr. Ameri. So when I told them who I was going to, they were very supportive and very excited. So the surgery, people get really, really worried about it, and I was really, really worried about it, really excited. Again, I had it in January, specifically to miss the whole holiday rush. I didn't want to shakes. I was going to Disney over Thanksgiving that year. I was not going to be having shakes. I was not going to be dealing with incisions. So I purposefully did it, new year, new me kind of thing. And the surgery really isn't as bad. It's scary. It's really scary at first. When you're going in, it's terrifying at first. But once you get past it and you wake up, it's really not bad at all. And in reality, you get 3 weeks out and you feel 100% better. The worst part for me during the surgery itself was not being able to put anything in my mouth. No water, no food, no anything. And by the 4th day in the hospital, all I wanted was a glass of water. It was all I wanted, and you have these little tiny cups, and it's just not enough, and it's painful in some ways because that's all you want is water, but after you get through it, it's really not bad at all. These are my note cards for the night. So for me, surgery wasn't bad. What I also did, and again, I'm going to go back to my blog, I actually blogged from the hospital that day. And so as soon as I woke up, still put my oxygen on, I went on and I did a video because I wanted people to see the process for me. It made my life easier. That's what I thought was missing when I was going through the process, and I wanted to make sure the process was out there for everybody else. After the surgery, I was very fortunate to have a partner who had my diet in my house. Support is a big deal. A lot of people don't have it. I was very, very, very fortunate to have somebody who loved me very much and was willing to only have shakes or yogurt or mushy foods when they were around me, and would eat real food when they went out. So my life was actually really easy in a lot of ways because I had no real food in my house to worry about, which is not always the case. But when we went out, if we went out, if she had a piece of chocolate cake, I would just smell it, and that for me took care of my craving, which seems really ridiculous, but it really worked for me. Sometimes, and there was 1 or 2 occasions where I would put a little bit of food in my mouth, chew it up, and then spit it out, just so I had the taste. And it was a little thing, but it helped a lot when you're missing savory, and you'll miss savory with the shakes. You're just going to want, after having only chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry or whatever, you're going to want a turkey. You're going to want roast beef. And just having the flavor in my mouth and then spitting it out was enough for me. So again, I guess, my big thing from now, I'm almost 2 years out, I gained 15 pounds after I hit my lowest weight, and that was because I went on birth control, and that happens, and you need to be okay with that. I've adjusted to that. Okay, I gained 15 pounds. I'm going to try to take it off, so I'm not super happy about it, but it was 15 pounds that was mostly uncontrollable, because of the hormones in the pills, and now I'm working to make sure they come off. And it was terrifying when I put the weight on, but I'm not panicking, I'm not falling back into those habits because I don't want to have any of the issues that I had before. I've been very fortunate, I've had very little complications. I was saying to somebody earlier, you know, we had the conversation about dumping. I'm one of those people who didn't really dump until about a year out. I had a little bit of fat dumping right off the bat, but now I dump notoriously unless I eat my share of protein first. So if I really want to have something, a cookie with sugar in it, I need to make sure I've had my 10 to 15 grams of protein first. Because if I don't have it, I'm going to be laying in my bed, in a ball, in pain, or feeling like I'm going to pass out. Because my dumping isn't necessarily always pain, but it's instant lightheadedness, and I'm going to just fall over, and I can't keep myself up. So if you're a few months out and you haven't dumped yet, you're very excited, but it doesn't necessarily always go that way, which is kind of a bummer, but it's okay because you can get through it, and you kind of learn your tricks to get around it. So I guess, I don't know. My big thing is I try to stay as positive as possible. I did this to myself. I wanted to have this surgery. It was an elective surgery for me. I didn't have any of the health issues before. I wanted to do this. I needed help. I have the help. I'm not going to mess it up. My body went through too much, and I'm not going to let myself gain all that weight back. I'm just not going to let it happen. One thing that did happen is just last month I had my gallbladder removed. I'm one of the, what is it, 1 out of 4 who ends up having gallbladder issues. I'm one of those 4. My gallbladder came out. That was worse than the gastric bypass for those of you who have had it.
What were your issues? Your gallbladder issues?
Honestly, the reason I realized it, I wasn't having pain, but my poop was white. So there you go, watch your poop. They always tell you to watch your feet. but that was just one of the things I noticed. I happened to see it on a Dr. Oz one day, and I was like, wow, that's really pastel. That's kind of weird. And I didn't have a lot of pain. I didn't have lots of stones. When they did the ultrasound, I was having the issues. I asked my PCP, and when they did the ultrasound, they found a big stone, just a single stone. That was it. But it was enough to block it all up. And Dr. Ameri told me it was a really ugly gallbladder when it came out. So we're glad we took it out. And I feel fine now. But I had a lot of complications, more pain around that than I did with the gastric. So.
Where can we get a hold of your blog? How can we see all that?
My blog is Once More with Surgery, all one word, .blogspot.com. And my whole journey is on there from literally when I started drinking liquids before surgery. You see me in the hospital, the whole 9 yards. It's really, I hope it helps somebody in this room if you're having issues.
It definitely does. I've gone on YouTube and seen blurbs of, different people, but not like the whole thing. So it absolutely helps. Because sometimes you feel really alone in this.
Yep. And when that was my big thing, I felt alone, and I was fortunate enough to have 1 or 2 people around who had gone through it, who I could go to. But otherwise, I was lost. Make friends with people who you have surgery with. There were 4 of us, 3 from Dr. Ameri and 1 from, I forget the other doctor's name, who had surgery all on the same day, and we all keep in touch. And we've become each other's support group, which has been really, really nice actually, because we're like, oh, happy birthday! It's coming up, we're all really excited about it. So I don't know, that's kind of my story. This is the best thing I ever did. Oh, Once More with Surgery, .blogspot.com. And I'm very open. I'm always talking to people about this now. Like I said, I want people to know about it. I want people to ask me questions. So if you have them, shoot them at me, because I just talked about having white poop, so I really have no idea.
Any questions for Lee? Thank you very much.
I just want to say I really admire your openness, and I'm the same exact way. I don't care who knows. People are like, oh, is something different? Yeah, I had gastric, but yeah. And my husband is like, do you really have to tell everyone that? Yes. Yeah. For me, I do. Yep. I just need to. That's what I need to do.
Yeah, and that's how I am. And a lot of people don't like to do that, but I think it's the best way for me.
Yeah, it's really good.
Thank you
very much.